welcome back to the 31 Days of Horror. I am your host, Moon616, and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yeah, day 15 here on the 31 Days of Horror Volume 4, and we are about halfway there. So, yeah, man, day 15, and I was kind of going through the films that I'd done so far, and I realized I hadn't really done any creature features, specifically little creature features. I love little creature feature flicks. And so I had to pull this one off the shelf because I'd never seen it before. I've had this one in the collection for a while, and I was like, why not? Gotta do it. From Camp Motion Pictures, from 2016, this one got released, I believe, late last year on Blu-ray, and it's called Ghastlies. Yes, little creature feature, little creatures from outer space. So, if you know anything about Camp Motion Pictures, you know that they basically release very, very low micro-budget, no-budget type films. So you already know what you're getting yourself into when you purchase a film from Camp Motion Pictures. So my thought, or getting to the synopsis of this one, it's basically about these three sorority girls that want to initiate and invite their friend into their sorority, who is a very, very big geek. She's a dork, and they just feel kind of bad for her, and they really want her part of their sorority. So of course they rent this, cabin out in the woods where they want to do the initiation for her, and they get out there, and of course it doesn't go as planned, and then they end up unleashing these little ghastly creatures, and of course all hell breaks loose as everybody gets picked off one by one. So, that is the synopsis. My thoughts on this one, yeah, so this is actually a Canadian film, directed by, oh man, what's the director's name again? Brett Kelly. Now this guy, he's done like a load of low-budget films, too many to name off, and yeah, so I was actually quite surprised that, this one right here was released by Camp Motion Pictures. I believe he's had some films that are released by Wild Eye. A very similar type label to Camp Motion Pictures. They release very low budget films. So my thoughts on this one. Now this movie is bad. It's a bad film, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. They were trying to do something that wasn't like completely over the top bad, and they were, at points trying to make a decent film. But the problem is that they just have, everything is just so cliche. I mean, from the characters, of course you got the rich bitch, you got the geek, you got, the slut, you got the really bad dialogue, the storyline, of course, is very typical, and all those elements are fine as long as, you have some decent effects when you're doing a little creature feature film and stuff, but the effects in the film are like so bad, it just kind of brings out all the other badness in the film even more. Oh man, the creatures in this one look so funny. They're literally like stuffed animals being, kind of moved around by hands and shit. It's really bad. It's really bad. Even there's a little bit of gore, blood and stuff in this one. It's done all super, super low budget. It's a very quick watch. It only runs about 70 minutes before the credits hit. And actually, after the credits in this movie, there's even like a little animated portion that's actually kind of cool. I thought that was pretty cool. A little different. Yeah, man, this one's a rough one to get through. I won't lie. Like I said, with the bad dialogue, nothing really happens for like 30 to 40 minutes into this film. And in a 70-minute feature, that's a little bit tedious. Yeah, it's just made up of a lot of really bad dialogue. Of course, one of the sorority girls is the stupid one, so there's a lot of, really bad dialogue, intentional dialogue that's bad on purpose, that's kind of grits on you after a while. The rich bitch. There's some funny-ass lines in this, I won't lie. There was a couple times I actually laughed out loud at the actual jokes. It wasn't, unintentional laughs. Yeah, man, I don't know. I had a little bit of fun with this. I just wish there was a little bit more of the creatures in this. You only get to see them here and there, and it's just a little bit too little. No pun intended for the little creature feature, but I think they needed a little bit more, and it just maybe a little bit better creature feature effects in this one. It's actually quite comical to see. But yeah, the build-up is just... It's just a little bit too slow, a little bit too cliche. The dialogue was bad, everything about it just wasn't great. One thing I did enjoy, though, was like the generic kind of synth music in it that they kept using. You know, I think you're watching like Sleepaway Camp 3, the guy in the tent, and, you know, this hip-hop music, you know, they always play those generic beats because they can't get the rights to music. Well, that's kind of what they were doing in here, and it just instantly reminded me of that scene. It was kind of funny. But, you know, of course this film isn't fully equipped with the most retarded cops on the face of the earth. You know, that's one thing that's always plagued the movie Last House on the Left, is like the ridiculousness of the cops in that movie. Okay, so we already have one of the most cliche characters in the world. We have these two cops that are, of course, policing this small little rural town, and, you know, they ride bicycles. They've got bike helmets and shit, and they're just awful. They're stupid. They're morons. It's just ridiculous characters. But yeah, so that's pretty much what you're going to get with this one. I wanted to really enjoy this film because, like I said, small creature feature films I usually have a blast with. But this one right here, too slow going, not enough of the creatures, and, you know, the kills, the creatures themselves weren't that great and stuff. But, you know, I did have a minor bit of fun with this, but I can't really recommend it. You know, the cover art's probably better than the movie. This is very typical of the 80s, you know. If I had to rate this one, I'm going to give it about a 4 out of 10. They tried to make a decent film. It just kind of failed on all levels. But Ghastlies, unfortunately, I can't give it up for my native land of Canada with that one right there. Just didn't cut it, man. Just didn't cut it. So, unfortunately, you know, through 15 days, we got 2 stinkers now, but it happens, right? It happens. We can't always review, you know, the best films in the world, so... But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for day 15. I will see you tomorrow in day 16. And as usual, deuces!